If a ray bisects an angle triangle, then it divides the opposite sides into two segments that are, keyword for this whole chapter, proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So the angle bisector will divide the triangle proportionally so that these two segments will be proportional to these two segments. So I probably have them using letters. Since we know that SQ bisects angle PSR, and there's, again, a lot of ways that you can set this up. I have PS over SR is equal to PQ over QR, or RQ. Kind of looks like a no. So again, usually the examples are going to have numbers, like this. So you can do x over 10 equals 15 over 20. Again, as I said yesterday, if you darken that angle bisector, it's going to break the proportion for you. But you could also do 15 over x equals 20 over 10. As long as you're consistent in the way that you set them up and follow the same order, like going down or going sideways, you'll get a proportion that cross multiplies to get you your correct answer. All right, so find the values of the missing variables. Again, you have to be given an angle bisector, so you have to see those little congruent markings to know that you can use this theorem. So, again, if you darken this, we would have 5 over 8 equals 6 over x. There's one way you can write the proportion. 5 over 8 equals 6 over x. Again, following that same pattern. Then we just cross multiply and solve. We'll get 5x equals 48. And if it goes in with a terminating decimal, we're allowed to write it like that, so 9.6. If you'd like to leave it 48 fifths, you can, I don't care. The next one, we have the angle bisector. Who can tell me the proportion we would write before cross multiplying? Someone I haven't heard from yet today? Chet, what do you think?
5 over 8, 3.6 over 1.
That works. So he did 5 over 8, 3.6 over y. Cross multiply and solve. Do not round your answer. Write out all the decimals unless you want to leave it as an improper fraction. You should do 5.76. And the last one just gets a little bit harder because we don't have one of the sides given to us. So again, notice we do have an angle bisector. So if you want, we can do 6 over 4. If you want to reduce that, you can. Equals, so I'm doing this over this, equals this over this. And the biggest mistake I'll see is that you guys will write x over 6. This is not 6 units long. This whole thing is 6 units long. So what expression can I write for that little piece? Luke?
6 minus x.
Good. 6 minus x. You cannot write it as x minus 6. It has to be the long part minus the small part. Then you do want to use parentheses whenever you cross multiply. Distributing your 6 to each thing inside. Get your variables on one side, so add 6x to both sides. And then divide by 10. So just be careful Again, I think there are a couple questions on the quiz that you may have to modify this to come up with an expression. Just don't fall into the trap of just assuming you just write out any numbers that you see. Some of them are that simple, but some of them are a little bit more involved. Okay. For the rest of class, then, we have 2 pieces of business to take care of, and that is a partner challenge